Hello everyone, I am your host Desiree, and let me scoot my desk stuff a little bit closer. Alright, so here we are. We're playing Cateau. It's about cats in France. I like cats. So, I've been looking at some free games over on Steam, and this was one of the ones I noticed, and I'm like, alright, I can give it a shot. I think. Oh, new game. I knew that. There we go. How to play. Click any. Okay. Oh, what's my name? What should my name be? We'll go with Zilia. Alright. Let's see. What do we got here? Paris is truly a sight to behold. I can't get used to it, even having lived here for most of my life. The scene party in the city in two, the smell of baked goods in the morning, and the buildings filled with history. Taking a drink. Even so, living here alone could maybe be a bit mundane, but I don't have to. I share an apartment with my old friend Roselle, who studies veterinary medicine of some sort. I don't get to spend much time with her, as my job's working the evening shift at a small newspaper. Speaking of which, I ought to let her know that I'll be heading to the office for the night in a bit. Damn. I knock on her door, waiting a few seconds before entering. Hey, Ro. How you doing? I'm alright, Zilia. And you? All good. Just wanted to let you know I'm leaving for work in a few. Ask about school. So, how was school? It wasn't all that important to come in today. I'll just read up on it later. Well, that's a cinch for you, so no problem there. If she wants to go somewhere this weekend, ask if I can help clean up her room. That's kind of... You know what? It's really nice outside. We haven't even gone out for a coffee together. We should totally do this. So this weekend, when we're both free. Well, it has been a while. You know you want to. Some fresh air will feel nice. Maybe. I might have to study. No promises. She glances at the clock above the door behind me. Shouldn't you be going soon? You'd wind up late in no time. You'd wind up late. Not too long, right? And not too... What? You'd wind up late and not too long, right? I'm good on time, actually, but it might be time to break it off. You might be right. I'm off then. I'll pass by the bakery, too. Is there anything you like? No, I'm good. Alright then. See you. I leave her to her own and head for the door. Before leaving, I pat my pockets, realizing that I'm forgetting something. Bro, have you seen my keys? Excuse me? The ones with the cork? Have you looked in the kitchen? I check and find them on the countertop. Wow, yeah, I fucking apparently know how to actually look for stuff. I always forget to check there. Good thing she still keeps tabs on me, even if things are different now. Thanks, bye. I see. Man, how lucky am I to have a view like this going to work. I think to myself as my feet patter against the rounded stones of the old towpath. In the shade by the wall, I spot a cat, looking every bit as scruffy as the water looks serene. Oh, Roselle would love this if she were here. She always used to chase after cats, partly gain their trust and befriend them like some kind of cat whisperer. Whenever successful, which was almost always, she'd memorialize the occasion by having a picture taken. Memorialize. Ooh, that's a word. The occasion by having a picture taken, like a big game hunter of old of old, posing with her quarry. I'm sorry with my shitty reading. I could have missed the sight of her. Maybe a picture of my own would remind her of the good old days. The thought stops me in my tracks, and I study the cat in question. It's just sitting there, gazing over the water, as if saying, "Yep, I rule this place." Which, in fairness, it probably did by the looks of things. Looking at the time, I noticed that I have plenty of it. I could at least try to get her a picture. Could possibly go wrong after all. What could possibly go wrong after all? But how should I approach it? Sneak up on the cat? Never sneak up on a cat. Let it know you're there and close in carefully. Better take it slow here. Slow and steady wins the race. And after all, I'm not the sorceress cat with cat whisperer Roselle. And now my cats are playing. Thank you for the ambience in the background. Hitting tables and playing with the ball right next to me. Go ahead, I'm not gonna stop you. Silly cats. I would hate to spook it now, from what was clearly, even to me, a favorite spot of theirs. Not that this cat looks particularly skittish. It was a very proud bearing. Hello there, kitty. I speak softly, closing the distance. When I'm merely a few meters away, it gives me a casual glance out of the corner of its eye. I get the idea and stop. Satisfied with my response, it returns, watching over the still water. I could easily just take a picture of the cat's back and call it a day, but my professional pride berates me for even considering such a notion. It may not be the cuddliest cat in the world, but I will get a good picture one way or another. Okay, breathe. It's a cat, not a bomb. I crouch down to make myself smaller, to make sure it knows that I pose no threat to it. It gives me a curious look, and I feel like I'm making a fool of myself as the cat gets up and starts to leave. Before it gets very far, it turns to face me, and thinking fast, I snap a quick shot of it. Hardly ideal, but it'll do. Aww. That's a good picture. Why's your phone cracked? You can't afford it, like, to fix your phone? Didn't turn out too great, but I bet Road like it anyway. I thought it was good. Once sent, it doesn't take too long for her to reply. Pretty left-looking cat. Stray? I think so. It seems that way, as far as I can tell. Did you get a closer look at it than in the photo? Could you see any wounds or could you see any wounds or such? I did get a better view of it, yeah, and it looked fine to me. Just scruffy. Good, but it's a stray. Be careful. They can have a nasty temper. Give it space, and you should be fine. That does seem like a fairly good idea. Thanks. Gotta hurry up to catch work on time. See ya. Okay, anytime. Do I have another choice? Go to work. Let's go to work. Tick tock, tick tock. Oh. Work went by as usual. And it was over in no time. Dawn is lurking around the corner as I'm heading for the bakery. All the little shops are closed, but the bakers are already at their battle stations, churning out their goods for the breakfast rush and the coming day. Thanks to having friends in high places, I also know, as the cat meows in the background. Come here. Come here. Come here. Talk about a good game to play. Come on. Come on. Are you trying to give me meows in the background, huh? There you go. Lay down. Thanks for having hands. Let's try this again. Thanks to having friends in high places, also known as the owner, I'm allowed to sneak in through the back door and get my grubby hands on some bread early. Roselle said she didn't want any, but I'll get her some just in case she changes her mind. Besides, you can never have too much bread. Oh, I want to touch that cat. As I leave the bakery with my precious baked goods, I notice a cardboard box next to the door, which apparently is the residence of a charmingly fat cat sleeping inside. Clearly, it's being cared for to some extent, as the floor is draped with a cozy looking blanket, and somebody's made it a little roof to keep the rain out. That is cute. It is a new tenant on the street, or I am selectively blind, and it's always been here. I can't recall. Looking around, the nearby area is strangely littered with glass jars, too. Inspired by the success of the earlier cat encounter, I decide to add to win further glory by attempting a second triumph moment. One to the make Roselle the cat whisperer proud. I dropped my bag and crouched down next to the sleeping cat, or what I thought was a sleeping cat. Oh, he's so cute! Oh my god, I want to touch it! I want to touch its furry face. It's so fluffy. Oh, it opens an eye and looks down at me lazily. We could try and pet it. It looks like it's quite friendly. Those chubby cheeks appear to be disdained for cuddling. Oh, destined. Ah, testing the waters, I tentatively reach out my hand, but meet no resistance. Aww. I caress its head and it's peaceful. Oh my god, it peacefully closes its eyes. Oh my god. I love cats. Sorry. Oh, okay. It looks like a smile. Appearing content. A soft purr. Oh, I hear the purr. The soft purr follows, and an outstretched paw closes and opens gently. Aww. Cats don't like their feet touched. When I unwittingly touch the cat's chin, it presses its head against my hand. It's so cute. I wanted to reach out and touch it, but it's not really there. I can touch the kitty next to me, just like this. Hi. I remove my hand and look at it quizzingly. What? Oh, I need to look at the screen and read. Okay? Stop stuffing your head into my armpit, okay? The cat looks back at me. Stop. Oh my god. Cats. You just gotta love them. The cat looks back at me with steady eyes. With that utterly satisfied face of a person who Are you okay? My goodness. Of a person who knows they'll get what they want. Stop! Okay? I can't read when you're tickling me. The difference between this is a cat. Hesitantly, I reach back under the chin, and yet again, it pushes it against my hand. Finally, catching on to this advance from the form of communication, I give it a good scratch and see the grin-like face of an excessively happy cat. Whew. The rumbling purr could probably be heard all over town. All the while, the cat bobs along my movements. After a while, I grow tired of the whole affair and stop. There's cuddling, then there's spending a whole day standing in the back alley. The cat jumps down to stroke its body against my knee, persistently asking for more cuddles. I can feel the tiredness lurking, the mental image of my bed calling me home, but instead I would appear to have been confiscated by this cat. Every time I make an effort to get going, it gets in the way of my feet, causing me to nearly trip over in order to avoid stepping on the cheeky burger. While Rose's not here, she could still have a good laugh at my expense if I can nab that picture. The conundrum remains, however, how to get enough space to do the nabbing of said picture. Maybe I don't need to create distance. Wow. I fumble with my pocket as I continue petting the cat with the other hand. In the position I'm sitting, it's difficult to get it out of my pocket, and I struggle for a moment. Finally, I prevail against those insurmountable odds. Insurmountable odds. It's late and reading is not my forte. Wow. Odds. Place the camera in front of us and snap a bunch of photos, hoping that at least one wouldn't be blurry. Be a blurry mess of disaster. Wow. I go through them quickly, and there's one close-up picture of the cat's face that didn't end up looking like the photo was taken from inside a tumbling dryer. It will have to make do. A few more cuddles later, I managed to extricate myself from the situation and start off in the direction of home. Aww, so cute! Yes, Midna, I see you there. I see you there. You want pets? I'll give you pets. While perhaps not the best interaction on my part, this picture turned out kind of great. Wow! How did you manage to take this one? After many trials and tribulations, I managed to nab it in the end. That and approximately 42,372 others that turned out rubbish. That's beside the point. I bet. Did you get along well? Kind of. Not bad. Not great. I don't think. I was thinking of trying to feed it. That could work. Just don't give it raw fish or something. That could make it sick. Don't worry, I won't. Jesus. Oh, what a day. Keychain rattling in my hand. I unlocked the door, shutting it behind me, dumping my bag on the floor by the wall, and trudging on over to the kitchen for a bite to eat before bed. I trottled past Rose's door, shut as always. Just a faint blue light leaking through the door frame. She must be on the laptop again. Finally arriving at the corner. I have myself a few pieces of counter. Wow. Oh my god, don't play games at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I have myself a few pieces of fresh loaf before dragging myself into the living room, into the TV. Flopping into the couch, I watch whatever happens to be on, lazily munching away. There's a documentary on about life on the African savannah. It'd be just her thing. After a few minutes, I deliberately get minutes of deliberation. I get up, going over to Rose's room and gently knocking on her door. Hey, Ro, you up? Yeah, Zelia. What is it? Ask her to come watch TV, just checking. Can I come in? Sure. Why don't you come hang out with me? There's a wildlife special on. There's lions and everything, just like we always used to catch. There's a few moments of silence. I'd rather not. I want to be alone. Knowing when not to overstay my welcome, I wish her a good night before gently closing the door and heading back to the couch. Go to sleep. Now something's going on with her. Never having been one for sitting around, come afternoon I treat myself to a walk. Some might think that walking is a bit of a peculiar treat, but in a city like Paris, it really is. There's always something beautiful to see, something exciting to discover. I've been walking around this city virtually every day for years, and it still never bores me. On the contrary, it helps dislodge writer's block and distract me from other woes. One of the streets and spots I always come back to, though, is that old little street passing by the small park. The trees happen to make for a great spot to just get away from the sun and on a hot day. An added bonus. Suddenly I spot an orange fuzz in the peripheral. And I instantly know it's a cat. It's funny, the things that you notice once you're actively looking for them. Well, it's either that or I've been afflicted with cat engineered nanomachines altering my perspective, which in all honesty is a touch unlikely. Aww, you got that kitty. Rather than a fully grown cat, this one's a mere kitten, playing with the leaves beneath the tree. Playtime is disrupted, however, when a pedestrian tramples by, startling the little creature. After having taken cover by the tree for a while, it tentatively returns to the game, soon blissfully distracted. I'd love to join in, but I don't want to frighten it again either. You gotta let it know. Considering how that person stormed by, scared the poor little thing, I should probably let it know I'm approaching beforehand, so that I don't scare it again. I walk closer carefully, with slow, deliberate movements, quietly calling out to it. Hey, little friend, don't be afraid. Turns out kittens don't do well on a whole hearing comprehension front, and it curls up into a small, nervous bundle. Don't be scared. I'm a friend. I stopped for a while, giving it some time to realize that I wasn't going to stampede by or do any harm. Clearly anxious due to my presence, I need to do something to break the ice. Tell it about your day. You don't want to go close to a cat that's like that. Maybe I can get across my friendliness through a casual conversation. I go on to tell the kitten about my day, the cat by the canal, my night shift at work, and about the other cat by the cafe, while facing in the general direction of the cat. I don't look directly at it, trying to communicate that I'm no threat to it. I cast a quick glance at it. The kitten is watching me carefully, but seems less withdrawn, more curious. Play with it using a stick. There you go. Don't try and touch the cat. It's obviously a rather playful sort. Maybe that'll help me befriend it. The tree beside us has kindly enough dropped a twig on the ground that looks like it could double as a cat toy. Picking it up, I give it a try, drawing a figure 8 in the air. But I've never played with the cat. Sure, it can't be too complicated, but how should I go about it? It's still a question that needs answering. Avoid sudden movements. While I never owned a cat, I've spent a few minutes here or there on the internet, and as inevitability, seen a cat video too. I need to go to bed, I think. Well, I didn't have a crumpled piece of paper on a string to bounce around, but the twig might do as a substitute. I leaned forward a little to better position it above the cat, trying to make enticing movements with it to get the attention of the kitten and excite it to play. However, it just lays there in a soft orange ball, big eyes looking up at me with trepidation. At the moment, I realized that I must look obviously absolutely massive, looming over the little fella like that. Quickly, but not too quick as to avoid startling it, I move away to give it some space, no longer making such an imposing figure. While my current stance is uncomfortable in the extreme, I managed to at least rose the kitten from the field for sit. It lacks the confidence to have. Wow. It lacks the confidence to have a go at the twig, but follows it with curious eyes. Wow. Read! Seeming to have done right by the kitten, I get a picture for Ro before saying my goodbyes and heading off, hoping to make a better impression next time. Aww. It's cute. That's not a bad picture. As reliable as Old Faithful, it doesn't take too long for Ro to respond. Cute. Where did you run into this one? The street by the park. It'd been spooked by someone rushing past. Looks pretty relaxed for such a small kitten. That's just been scared. Must have done a good job to getting near it. Just applied a bit of common sense. It didn't play along. Wow. Wake up! Focus. It didn't play along, but it seemed curious. Understandable. Probably just a bit apprehensive. I bet it'd be more playful otherwise. I'll try again next time I see it, if I have the opportunity. Anyway, I'll be home soon. See you there. Sounds good to me. When I get home, I enter Ro's room. I just want to let you know I'll be visiting the bakery lunchtime tomorrow. I need to grab a cake for Rico from work's birthday. If you want to come along, I'm sure the cat will be there. I think I'll rather stay here. They say it's gonna be very hot out tomorrow.
But if you see it, you know the rule, right?
Right. When you see a cat for the second time, you must name it. I remember. I'll head out again and go to work soon.
Good luck.
When down by the canal, I keep an eye out for the scruffy cat, but I don't run into it again. Aww. Work turns out, like usual, pretty uneventful. It's because I messed up. That's what happens when you don't do stuff correctly. That's okay. After some well-deserved sleep, I head out to grab that cake. To be honest, I'm more excited at the chance of seeing that cat again than to celebrate my coworker. I should get the cat something. It looks like one that would appreciate something edible. I take a quick detour to the grocery store and I quickly find myself in the small pet aisle. I have no idea what the cat likes, and the picture of the jars littered around its bed pop into mind. Maybe they had contained something it liked, but I can't quite remember what the label had. What should I buy? Cat treats, because shrimp, no, it'd be like giving it raw fish and olives. I don't think you should feed. I think olives are bad for cats, so no? Well, shit. Who'd leave a glass jar out for an animal after? Well, shit. At the end of the day, cat treats are designed for what? Hey! We're not asking for background meows. Come on, come up here. Oh my goodness, my cat just... They want to give background meows, I guess. They want to add to the ambience. Hey, no. You're not getting on the table by the keyboard and mouse. At the end of the day, cat treats are designed for, well, cats to eat. Even if it doesn't like them, it'll hardly do any harm. I'm sorry, cat. I didn't know cats liked olives. I don't think I'm really sure you're not supposed to feed cats olives. Why do I feel like that's bad? Now I have to look at canned. Oh, maybe it was grapes. Huh. Well, shit. Cats are not likely to eat those. Okay, so it was grapes. My bad. Well, shit. Well, now I know. Damn it. I'm sorry. When I reach the bakery, I find the cat resting in its makeshift bed yet again. I seem to be quite fond of its little box, even though it is visibly somewhat too small. Good afternoon, cat. I bring thee a tribute of treats. The cat raises its head with a slow, lazy sway, letting out a big yawn, exposing a line of teeth. It blinks slowly at me and I reach out, petting its head, scratching it a little behind the ears. Rosella sends her well wishes. She also wants me to grant you a name, if that would be okay. Oh! Oh my God. Mr. McFluff. Fluffs a lot. Oh, Mr. McFluffy. Then. How about Mr. McFluffy? Does that sit well with you? Mr. McFluffy meows. I know it's just in response. Oh my goodness, cats. What am I gonna do? I know it's just in response to me making sounds at it, but I can't help. I can't help but to add in a friendly, sarcastic manner. Then again, you don't seem to do much but sit. A pause, accompanied by a continued petting, before I reach into my pocket for the treats. I've got something for you. Once in my hand, I rattle the packet, somewhat to get Mr. McFluffy's attention. The cat's... I feel so horrible! Ugh. The cat eyes me with some sort of semi-enthusiastic curiosity in its eyes, standing up to get a good look at what I am doing. Opening the bag, the treats result in a meow from Mr. McFluffy. As Mr. McFluffy sniffs the air, I single out a treat and serve it to the cat out of the palm of my hand. Mr. McFluffy gives it another skeptical sniff before tapping it with a paw. The treat, clearly terrified. Wait. My brain. Okay. The treat, clearly terrified, flees out of my hand and falls down onto the bed. Mr. McFluffy taps at it some more, making sure it cannot escape again before looking up at me with expectant eyes. Jeez, my throat's getting dry. Hold on. Go ahead. It's yours. It's certainly not for me. However, Mr. McFluffy doesn't pay the morsel any more attention, no matter how I try to coax it. I suppose Mr. McFluffy must be a connoisseur of fine food, lacking any interest in cat treats. Well, that certainly didn't work out the way I hope. I'll have to try to appease the cat somehow else. Those poofy cheeks look fit for a good scratching. Using the tips of my fingers, I gently scratch its cheeks before moving to scratch it just behind the jaw. Mr. McFluffy clearly approves, a humming purr radiating from a very pleased cat. It angles its head to give me better access, and the scratching continues for a few moments before it turning its head to the other side, and the process is repeated. Mr. McFluffy's purr slowly. Did you just? The ball hit me in the back. It's like the cat threw it at me. You want it? Okay. Slowly grow more quiet until it drifts off into a nap. its head resting against my hand. Ever so carefully, I lower its head onto a bundle of the blanket bedding, succeeding in doing so without waking Mr. McFluffy up. I realized that I had already spent much more time with Mr. McFluffy than I had intended, and I need to pick up that cake already. Hesitantly, I give Mr. McFluffy a last pet on the head before saying my goodbyes and escaping into the bakery. It's bustling with more activity than usual. When the owner scurries by, I receive the great news. Business has been going well, and they were moving to a new, bigger place not too far away. I congratulate her, apologizing for not having much time to chat before taking my leave, cake in hand. I'm home. Unlike the usual silence, Ro calls for me.
Zelia, can you come over for a minute?
Wow, my brain just like shut down there for a second. When had she last been the one call out for me? There's something I haven't considered being a possibility in a long time. I walk over to her room. Oh, whoa! Oh God, I hope she's okay. Is she cleaned up? Yes? Roselle plays with her hands as if she is unsure of how to bring up the subject. Oh, great.
Thank you for the photos. They were nice. However,
yes?
That kitten? Was there anyone with it?
No, it was alone, I think.
Isn't that strange? For a kitten to be all alone, I mean?
I guess, but it had a collar, so it might just live nearby. She doesn't look convinced. Oh, okay. You know what? I'll see if you know what? I'll see if I spot it on my walk and make sure.
That'd be great.
I'll be off then. Do you want to come see it? I see how she considers it. How her brow frowns and her eyes trace the crevices of the floorboard. Okay, fine.
It might get scared with yet another stranger around. Does she go alone?
Scared or of frightening it? That's not an excuse I've ever heard from Rosella, the great cat whisperer. Maybe this case is a little bit more delicate, but it's not like the kitten trusts me either. However, if she doesn't want to, I can't force her. I'll just do my best then. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Empowered by her blessing, I head out. Just before leaving, I put the cake in the fridge and make my way to the old pedestrian street again. Wow. My brain is like, no more of this super late streaming. I'm surprised to see the kitten sitting next to the tree just like it had the other day. It feels a little strange to find such a young cat out here all alone again. I would like to have a closer look at its collar, as it might have a number or an address on it. The kitten is sitting next to the tree. Oh, sitting next to the tree trunk, looking at the passerby. It looks healthy, so somebody must be feeding it at least. I really hope that I'm just overthinking it. From our last meeting, I know I should be careful when I approach it, with sudden movements or sounds that will scare it. Having made my approach, I speak to it softly to
to get its attention. Hey, little friend. We need a proper name for you, too, don't we?
Huh. Let's see. What's a good name? We'll just call you Tiny.
Tiny. What do you think of that? Kitten glances at me with big eyes, which I decide to be in approval. This reminds me that I still have cat treats in my pocket. Maybe Tiny will like them. But I'm not the only one with eyes for the kitten. The kid separates from his mother's hand and chases the kitten. Tiny runs away, but in my direction. I can't let it get away. Follow it. Don't. It's probably for the best to let it run. Well, yeah, you don't want to touch it. The kid's caught by his mother, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. I follow the kitten around the corner and find it hiding in a doorway. Its body is pressed against the corner and its eyes watches me carefully. The ordeal has gotten me pretty close. Maybe I have a chance here. Well, there's no twig to use for play, and even if there were, I'm not sure that that'd be a good idea. Maybe a bite to eat would help the little creature feel at ease. This situation isn't exactly what I'm used to, but I believe in the versatile powers of food. I crouch down and toss a treat carefully so it lands next to the kitten. It snaps its eyes on the new object and sniffs the air. When it's convinced it won't move again, it sneaks up on the treat and eats it. When finished, it sniffs around the ground for more. I throw another one and the projectile makes Tiny shy away before quickly returning to the food treat and eating it. I throw the treats closer and closer to me so Tiny can get within reach. However, Tiny becomes aware of that and grows more careful, approaching the treat, backing away when it grabs it. It's the whole slow process, but I can get close enough. Yeah, do not ever grab a cat. Let the cat has to be comfortable and come to you. I slowly pick out a few treats and place them in my palm. I extend my hands slightly in front of me, making sure the kitten can see them. Tiny looks at them but hesitates. So I throw one of them halfway between us. The kitten crouches down and sneaks up to the treat, carefully watching me. After snacking on the nearest treat, it looks curiously at my hand, stretching its head out. It takes a reluctant step towards me, and I have to stay completely still, movementless like a statue. A gargoyle of Notre Dame. Dame. Or maybe not a gargoyle. They come to life, right? As Tiny gets closer, it grows braver and walks up the last steps to smell treats. I feel its whiskers tickle my fingertips, but I have to stay still as the mountain. Tiny takes the first treat, and I can clearly hear it snap as it bites into it. One after another, the treats disappear until my hand is empty. I know Tiny won't like it, but I'll still have to grab it to check the collar. My hands close ease closer and pick the kitten up. Aw. I quickly press it against my chest to stabilize it. Tiny tenses up as soon as I touch it. Feels slightly calmer after a few seconds in my bosom. There you are. Such a good kitty. I try to soothe the kitten and gently stroke it with my thumb. When it is calm, I place it on my lap to check its collar. Tiny meows and I find a phone number that I write down on my phone. When that is done, I loosen my grip and stroke the kitten gently to make it forget my manhandling. Then I have to let it go, and Tiny scurries away. But I don't think we are back on square one. I'll leave some treats on the ground in case it comes back and leave. Oh, man. As soon as I get home, I walk to Rose's room. I got a number. Tiny had one on its collar. Oh, and I followed a rule and named it. I also forgot to mention that I named the bakery cat as well, Mr. McFluffy. What? What are we waiting for? Call it. I type in the number and let the signal go by. They go on for longer and longer. No answer. No answer? Doesn't appear so. I'll have to try again later. Well, keep me updated. I will. Go to work. Time to work. I try to call a few more times. Eventually, I give up and head out for work. There are slow news days, and then there's dead news days. I need to get something published today or my boss will get on my case. Might as well have a stroll and see if I can at least find something worthy of writing about. The city, beautifully lit in the dark, as I find my way down to the towpath, is probably one of the prettiest spots around here. Another advantage it has going for it. Has going for it the fact that for some arcane reason, almost nobody ever goes there, rendering it a quiet place for thoughts to be had. Hang on a moment. What's that sound? My pondering is interrupted by aggressive growling and tremendous noises near the bridge. And my curiosity gets the better of me, and I slightly walk over to check out the source of the racket. In the glow of the lamplight, there's a group of cats staring at each other, hissing and swatting their paws. 4 of them seem to be working together against a somewhat larger, rougher-looking one. Could it be the same one from the other day? It looks like, and it appears to be in trouble. Four against one is hardly sporting, so why not even the odds a little bit? I have a bottle of water in my bag. I'm not afraid of using it. I run at the scruffle. Hey! They don't pay me much heed, though. I unscrew the cork of my doomsday device and unleash a raging torrent at the cats. Well, at least as much of a raging torrent as a bottle would allow. While my aim is not perfect, I managed to hit the 4 upstairs. But the old cat ends up being collateral damage in the process. The youngest start into the night, hissing with displeasure, and the remaining cat stays with me. It stands alert and stares at me with those piercing eyes. I can't say it looks particularly happy in my presence. Breaking eye contact with a nod, it starts to clean off the water with its tongue. Blah. Hey, maybe the cat is at least a little bit appreciative for my help. For the help. It's hard to tell, and that leaves me feeling like both the conquering hero and the ill-willed villain. In the end, I think it does know that I was trying to help. I stay for a good while, making sure the pack of rascals don't return. In the meantime, I should come up with a name for it. What should we name you? We'll call you Bane. More time passes before I address the cat in a relaxed tone. Okay, Bane. Time for me to go. I've got work to do, but I'll see you around. I turn around and continue my way down along the canal. A few moments later, I notice a shadow out of the corner of my eye by my left foot. Looking down, I find that Bane has decided to come along. We follow the canal in silence, a feeling of mutual respect in the air. Maybe we have some things in common after all. Aw, look how happy he is. A few more minutes go by before the cat stops, sitting by the water once again. I feel oddly compelled to find a justification for staying here. I still have a few treats left. Why would it be bad to offer him food? I still have a few treats left, so I fish them out of my pocket and crouch down, offering them in my hand. Bane looks at me with a spark of suspicion glinting in his eye. Not making any moves to approach. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I throw a treat between us just in case. Just in case it doesn't want to get close to me. It walks up to the treat with a scrawling expression and swats it submissively into the water below. Note to self. Bane really doesn't like cat treats. Skip treats over the while. Well, if cats don't like these things, why even bother lugging them around? I weigh a treat in my hand, feeling its weight and shape. I calculate the perfect skip toss in my mind before reeling it back, my whole body following into the throw, and I unleash the treat with a flawless timing. It cuts through the air with a purpose. Its destination preordained, the outcome already determined. With a graceful art, it drops out of the air, maybe 2 feet away, hits the surface and sinks with an undignified plop. Bane does show signs of amusement, and thoroughly encouraged, I repeat the procedure until I run out of sweets. The last one managing to skip maybe a centimeter or so. While certainly not the smoothest of friendships, I get the feeling that Bane is at least somewhat less indifferent towards me. Bane and I would have to part ways for now, but I'm looking forward to meeting it again. Once back at work, inspiration hits me. I could always write a little piece about the issues of abandoned cats around the city. After all, I never noticed before. So bringing it to light might result in some good. As it gets later, I'm getting more tired. So I apologize for my mess-ups. Returning home in the morning, I meet with a surprise. I look through my pocket, for my key, only to find none. Oh, right. I must have dropped them somewhere. With resignation, I knock steadily on the door. A short while later, Rosella opens it with a surprised look on her face. She looks tired. I'm not sure if I woke her or not, however. I dropped my keys. Oh. I wonder if it's her cat. Well, no, because no one picked up the number. I wonder what's making her so down. I have to go looking for them after I've had some time to sleep. Are you going anywhere? No, not really. With that, we separate into our respective rooms. Something's wrong with her, man. She is depressed as shit. Something is depressing her. I go to the bakery during the afternoon. This time around, as the bakery won't be open in the weekend due to the move, so this will be the last time I go to this alley. During the walk, I'm sure to keep my eyes peeled in case I drop my keys here, but I'm fairly sure I didn't. I enter the bakery and I'm almost feeling a little nostalgic as I look around. It won't change my routine that much to go to the new place, but I'm a little bit worried about Mr. McFluffy. I ask the owner about it when she hands me the bread. Will you bring the cat along with you to your new place? The owner gently shakes her head. There's no good place for it to stay at the new bakery. I can't let it inside. Oh, is there anyone that can take it home then? We've tried that. It got really angry and anxious when we tried to carry it away. It really looks like it really likes it with us. But when push comes to shove, we'll have no choice but to force it to. I'm sure it'll work out somehow. Have you seen a pair of keys, by the way? I've dropped them somewhere. I haven't, but I'll be sure to be on the lookout. The owner smiles reassuringly and continues on with work. I leave the bakery feeling ill at ease. Oh, I feel so... It makes me sad. I walk up to Mr. McFluffy and I notice that it looks a bit uneasy, but cheers up when it sees it's me. The cat must know that something's going on. I should at least try to comfort it. Oh my god, comfort some before I go. Cuddles are the best cure for anxiety. I sit down next to its little box and reach out my hand to caress its head. Mr. McFluffy closes his eyes, purring, and we sit like that for a while. We can't leave Mr. McFluffy without anyone caring for it. It feels weird to think of the cat being anywhere else but here in the back alley. This is its home. I'm so sad. See, this is what gets me, because I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna take you home, and that's where I end up having problems, because I would just care for every cat that's homeless if I could. I keep a close eye on the cat. It's looking much happier after some cuddling. A thought starts to play in my mind. What if I could take Mr. McFluffy home with me? Mr. McFluffy seems like a cat that would like most people. Sure, that might be a presumptuous, but I feel like we have a little bit of a special bond. I've gotten better with cats. I think I know Rosella owned cats in the past, so we would be able to care for it. Our apartment is big enough. And my income isn't too bad. It could be doable. No, it's entirely doable. Yes! Yes! Take Mr. McFluffy home! Please! Take Mr. McFluffy home! Please! Please! Let's try it out. It will depend on if Mr. McFluffy likes me or the bakery more entirely. Mr. McFluffy inches closer to my hand and oh my god! Snuggle close to it. I stroke it gently with my free hand. Spoil it with further cuddles. I roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles. Quiet joke to myself. The term blitz is on, and there is no escaping it. I'll miss Mr. McFluffy happy. Not so little cat. A not so little cat. I begin to, oh my god. I begin by scratching behind the cheeks. I run my fingers through the thick fur and give it a scratch from the ears to the chin. I move my hand down the chest, the neck, digging into the fluffy chest hair. When I scratch the fur over its shoulder, I notice its front paws claw the quilt under it in comfort. The cat rolls over, exposing its tummy. Oh my god! Oh my god! Whew. And I give Mr. McFluffy a proper belly rub. Mr. McFluffy must feel spoiled to bits after that. The cat remains on its back, eyes closed, but then gives me a glance. The look seems to say, "Oh, you finished already? Weren't you supposed to be feeling bad?" Mr. McFluffy chases after my hand, demanding to receive more pets, even though I've been at it for minutes already. When I don't immediately comply, it looks at me with puppy eyes. Oh no. Mr. McFluffy certainly seems to want to keep me around, but is that enough for it to be willing to follow me home? I'd like to give the cat a little test to see. Let's see. Carry it home in its bed. Oh my god, that's really hard. I'm gonna say, see if it'll follow you. Oh god. Would Mr. McFluffy voluntarily follow me out of this alley if I just called for it? Could hardly hurt to try. I give the cat a last pet on the head and then walk away, not stopping before I reach the next street. Not that far of a distance, really, but it can be for a cat. I make eye contact with Mr. McFluffy that eyes me curiously. Without breaking it, I crouch down and reach out my hand. Come here, Mr. McFluffy. I click my tongue and the cat's ears respond, homing in on that sound. I call again after some hesitation. It makes its way down from its bed. It trots lazily over to me, swaying its every step. I offer my hand for pets, and before accepting it, Mr. McFluffy glares at me resentfully for making it a walk all the way over here. But still, it did. And I'm very proud of it. Why? You don't want to, like, just pick up the cat. I snuggle it properly, and then comes the real test. I place my hand around Mr. McFluffy's body and pick up the cat. Gosh, it's heavy. I shuffle it around so I have a good hold around it, and the cat strokes its face against my... Oh! Seems like Mr. McFluffy passed the test, or maybe it was I that didn't. I'll have to tell the owner of the bakery that I'll take Mr. McFluffy with me. I hesitate at the door, but I don't want to drop the cat now, so I walk in with it in my arms. The owner will have to excuse me, but it's a special occasion. The owner's eyes open in surprise when she sees us. Well, would you look at that? Seems like our little charmer has been charmed itself. Oh, I want to cry. It was so cute. It seems like it doesn't mind coming with me, if that's fine with you guys. Of course. We couldn't be happier if it finds a proper home. And knowing it's you makes it feel even better. Does Rosella know about it? Nope. I'm just hoping she won't mind. The owner lets out a huge laugh. I can't imagine she would. Say hello for me. I will. And I will keep you all updated on Mr. McFluffy. That's what I call it, by the way. Mr. McFluffy. It's a suiting name. Mr. McFluffy, I bid our farewell to the old, and I bid our farewell to the old bakery in the alley. Oh my God. I never found my keys, so they must be down by the canal. First, however, I break the news to Rosella. Surprise her. It would be fun to see her face when I break the news. I snuggle against Mr. McFluffy, making sure it feels comfortable during the walk home. I don't get any complaints, even when we have gotten far away from its old home. I walk up the stairs and its new one and take a deep breath before opening the door. It isn't locked, so Rosella is home. I walk to Rose's room and knock on her door. Can I come in? Sure. I slip inside and I'm sure my excitement is visible all over my face. Rosella doesn't take notice, however. Her eyes are set on my precious cargo. Mr. McFluffy? What is the cat doing here? You know the bakers are moving places, so Mr. McFluffy is looking for space to live in. And we got plenty of space here. My thoughts exactly. I drop the cat and it looks around the room. It locks eyes with Rosella and walks up to her and strokes its body against her leg, begging for cuddles. She gives in and crouches down, gives it all the pets it wants. I guess I'll have to scurry off and get some things, like cat food and such. Okay. Get diet food. We have to watch its weight. We also need a litter box, cat litter, unscented. Some toys, preferably one on a stick and one without. And that's too much for me to remember. Write me a list, will you? I will. That's what she needed. See, you need a cat in your life. It just makes difference in the world. Look at her smile now. I head out, and after a few minutes, I get a message of a very long list. I managed to find nearly all the things she had mentioned. I dropped them off at home before heading straight back out and down to the canal. I've gone for quite long enough without my keys, and I have to find them. As I get to the towpath, it's already become dark. I'm placing my hopes on that the setting sun will hit the keys just right and make them shine up. I keep my eyes peeled on the ground, making my way to my workplace along the canal. A hunch makes me look back, and surely I spot Bane following me silent steps. I wonder for how long it's been doing that. Or why. Possibly to keep an eye on anyone in its turf. The cat keeps stalking me at a slight distance, and I ignore it the best I can. My keys are top priority right now. I walk the entire towpath without spotting them. I guess I'll walk back, check some of the busier areas more carefully. I spot that Bane has stopped following me and is playing with something next to the edge of the canal. Good that it's keeping itself entertained. Check out what the cat's doing. It's got your keys. I'm a bit curious at what would interest Bane. If my keys can wait this long, they can wait a little bit longer. The cat is sitting next to the water and is poking at something casually, almost like it doesn't want to admit that it's playing. When I get closer, I get a better look at the object. Wait, those are my keys Bane is playing with. I can't believe the cat managed to find them. I don't have time to take sigh of relief before the cat pokes the keys so they inch closer to the water. Oh God, to their watery doom. I must do something quickly to prevent a catastrophe from happening. Catastrophe from happening. Near slowly and try to keep its attention. I reach out my hand in front of me trying to mentally keep the cat still. I hunch slightly and walk closer slowly, carefully not to agitate the cat. Oh God, it looks at me momentarily before losing interest and looks down at the keys again. Now they're Bane. Let's not be hasty. I watch as the cat paw close in the bottle. Oh God. Bane! I leap forward, but it's too late. I watch the keys tumble over the edge and I hear the splash echo in my head. Without a moment of hesitation. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, well, I guess I could have done that before. Alright. I want you to like me, cat. You will like me. Stare at him in despair. There's no way I can find the keys at the bottom of the canal. I kneel down next to the edge and look down into the blackness. The water is too dark. It was way too dark and deep for me to possibly find my keys. I guess I'll try to get copies for them. And until then, I'll have to coordinate with Ro. Get a new lock for my... Something drifts past me and quits my bustling thoughts. A quirk. Quirk? I determined. What a coincidence. My keychain was a quirk. I spurt into motion to grab it before it drifts any further and pull it out of the water. It's my keys! With them safe in hand, I cast a glance at Bane, who I've been ignoring at the whole ordeal, and is clearly cleaning its paws. You're lucky those didn't sink, you know. I sigh and lean back to catch a quick breath. The cat seemed to like to play with the keys, and under safe conditions I might dare to capitalize on that. I hold them by the cork and dangle them above Bane's head. It doesn't cause much of a reaction. The cat just cocks its head and looks at me. Okay, so that doesn't work. I'll have to try to recreate the conditions it wanted to play in. I took one last hard look at my keys and dropped them on the ground, making sure they aren't close to the edge. After looking at the keys for a moment, Bane reaches out and lets out a lazy paw and swats the keys a little closer to the water. Maybe Bane just likes to push things off the edge. I could replace the keys with something else, but it would just end up littering, so I quit playtime. I quit playtime here and there. It's getting late, so I should head home. I give Bane a wave and start to walk away. I walk down the very familiar towpath. I wonder how Roselle is doing at home. After a while, I recognize a faint footstep behind me and turn to see, oh, that Bane is still following me. Hey, buddy! I shrug, thinking it will stop eventually. But as I leave the towpath, it's still following me. You're coming with me, huh? Bane responds by following along all the way to my door. This is my stop. Bane has stopped and is looking at me, waiting. Having said goodbye, I open the door, only for Bane to waltz on in like it's his own place. Funny story. I actually had a cat that followed. Kai has a cat named Max, and when we were living in one of the apartments we were living in Florida, he followed him home and walked in, and he put him back outside, and he started screaming in the halls, or out in the walk area between apartments, and I'm just like, oh, just bring him back in. So the cat is still with us, but it was the funniest thing. Like, I've never seen a stray cat just follow somebody into their home, but this literally has happened in my life. A cat just following somebody into their apartment. Having said goodbye, I open the door, only for Bane to waltz in like it owns the place. The cat looks around and jumps up on the sofa and gets a better look at things. Ro, we have a visitor. It takes Roselle a moment to make it to the door, and when she steps out, she has Mr. McFluffy in tow. She freezes and she spots Bane and turns around to shove Mr. McFluffy back in the room and closes the door. What's going on? Not sure, but it decided to follow me home. Why did you lock Mr. McFluffy in the room? We can't just throw two cats who don't know each other together and expect things to go well. There's a process for things, you know. I can't say I do know. How does it work? You have to gradually introduce them to each other. At first they will just have to meet through the door so they have a chance to get used to each other's presence. So Bane can stay? If it wants to. I won't be the one to kick it out. We'll need another bowl, and Bane should probably have richer food. I'll get that tomorrow then. I notice how her attention shifts towards the sofa and how her eyes slowly sits on Bane. The cat. The cat eyes the new human with suspicion, but I know Roselle will get that barrier down in no time. I don't want to disturb her work, so I'll leave her to it. Ah, there's a Mario up there. I just noticed that. I'll buy the things before my walk tomorrow. She is getting happier. Cats. They are in a wonderful world. Aren't they, Midna? Yeah? Hi. Now that kitten. I bought the new things and I'm heading out for my Sunday stroll. By the look of it, this morning, Bane and Rosella are getting along well, so I'm not the slightest bit worried over leaving them alone. As I near the pedestrian street, I peel my eyes, trying to spot a certain kitten. I'll most likely find it in its usual spot, but I don't trust it not to have moved. I see the tree in the distance, and it grows closer as I walk. There's no kitten to be seen. I reach the corner and circle around the tree, but I can't see Tiny. Maybe it actually got home. If there were to be a case, if that were to be the case, would be great. A meow crushes my hopes, and I look around, still not spotting it. The next meow, I can tell comes from above, and I look up. Oh no, it's in the tree. Looks down from the high branch in the tree. Oh no, what's it doing up there? Doesn't look very safe. I haven't climbed a tree in ages, but I did it some back in the days. Except for the first part, it looks like a pretty easy climb. See if you can get it to come down on its own. Find something to climb up on. I'll look around, finding a wheeled garbage bin around the corner. I'll put it back when I'm done with it. I'll put it back when I'm done with it. But for now, I pull it next to the tree. Careful not to scare the kitten any further, I climb up on the bin. From there, it's not too great of a task to find footing on the lowest branch. I look up at the kitten, stares at me, meowing murkily and visibly scared. Someone must have startled it up here. Someone must have startled it up here, and it doesn't know how to get back down. It looked at me, and I'm fairly sure it recognizes me. Climb to it with caution, climb really slowly. I really can't afford scaring it any further up the tree. Tiny is already out on very thin twigs. With all of its claws, it's sticking in the wood, and I don't want to let go of the grip before I can catch it. I slowly move to the next foothold and then pause there until Tiny stops watching me. Then I advance to the next spot. It's very slowly going, and my arms feel a bit tired, but eventually I reach the same height that Tiny's at. The kitten, however, is just slightly too far away. I might be able to lure it out to grab it, or possibly lure it closer. Do I have food? I make sure I sit steadily on the branch and then carefully extract the treats from my pocket. If Tiny has been up here for a while, it might be hungry. I reach out with a treat, and I immediately see how the kitten's nose twitches as it sniffs the air. You know you want it. Come take it. After a moment of hesitation, it eases closer, carefully making its way back along the thin branches. I lay my hand flat and the kitten grabs the treat, devours it in seconds. It really is hungry. I fed it more treats, making it come a little closer each time before I grab the kitten with both hands and place it on my lap. I feed it. Oh, wow! You got really happy. I fed it the rest of the treats, and it eagerly eats every single one of them. It's hungry and a bit tired, but looks otherwise fine. Okay. What are you guys doing over there? Oh my god, these cats are messing with something behind me. Now comes the part where I have to get both of us down safely. I reach for my bag. That's probably the best way to carry the kitten, as it keeps both my hands free. Sorry, this will be over in a minute. I grab Tiny, put it in the bag before placing it over my back again. After that, I begin my steady descent and pull it off smoothly. When I reach the last fork in the tree, I drop down and make freeing Tiny my top priority. I open my bag and bring the kitten up in my arms. After a few seconds of being safe in my arms on the ground, the kitten falls asleep. I look at it curiously and stroke it gently over its back. It's almost surreal. Now I'm faced with what to do next. I've rescued Tiny from the tree, but I don't want to let go of the kitten again. I don't want to be uncertain whether or not it has a warm place to sleep and food to eat. I'll take it home with me. We can look for its owner, and if we don't find any, Tiny will stay with us. Oh my god. 3 cats. This is my life. This is literally me in Paris. It's a parallel universe. Just one more cat. Sure, it'll be a lot of work, but with Rose's expertise, we'll easily manage. I make sure to text her that we're coming this time, and she can prepare the place for Tiny. The kitten sleeps the entire walk home, only waking up when I unlock the door. Rosella jumps up from the sofa when she hears us sneak up Where's Bane? In your room. She reaches out a hand and tenderly strokes the kitten's cheeks. Hello there, sleepyhead. Maybe because it's very tired, or because Rosella's magic, the kitten isn't scared by her touch. It was stuck in the tree, and it's pretty tired right now. Oh no! I'm glad it got down safely. How about we fetch Tiny some food and water, and you can tell me all about it. Sounds good. Will you take him? She nods, and I hand her the sleepy kitten. Seconds later, it's hungrily feasting on its food, and I sit down next to Ro in the sofa for the first time in a very long time. Aw, she just needed cats. Some time later. Oh my, look at the cats. Oh, that cat on the couch, Mr. McFluffy. I love you, cat. I love you. It has already been, what, almost a year since they all moved in here? So much has happened. The chaos the first week we introduced the cats to each other are long over, and they all get along well. A little too well, actually. Me, and Roe are outnumbered 2 to 3 in most matters. Mr. McFluffy and Bane have really taken upon themselves to teach the youngest everything they know. Tiny's not as shy and scared anymore, but I wish they could have held back in some matters, as the mischievous, playful little thing never ends bringing trouble. We have a surprisingly calm time together as we wait for Roe to come back in with the mail. The door burst open in a blur of yellow. Roe burst in, surprising both me and Tiny. Mr. McFluffy and Bane, not so much, as the former is still sound asleep and the latter is seemingly never surprised by anything. Wow, look at her! Hey, hey, Zelia. Guess who passed their finals? I take an exaggerated thinking pose and reply, I don't know. Maybe no. Then snap my fingers and turn to her. Oh, I know, you did. Yep. Her face almost as beaming as her dress is yellow. You know, Ro, I'm proud of you. I know you'd pull through, and look where you are now. No more hiding away in the dark room and letting your life get away from you. It's great to have the old you back. She's quiet for a moment, but it's a good sort of quiet. I couldn't have done it without you, you know. You've helped me more than you think. I bet. Anyway, enough of that. I think we've both earned ourselves a treat. Wow. Well, you did all the earning. Well, you did all the earning, but I won't complain. With that, we leave the apartment under the competent supervision of Bane, who would maintain order while we were gone. To some extent, at least. We meter around for a good long while before choosing a cafe to stay at. After that, we continue to walk without any clear destination, like the good old days. Ro and I both stop it as we spot a cat in the distance. We share a smile and both approach it together. Maybe it's not just like the old days. So, now that you have graduated, do you still want to go through with it? Of course. The cats helped me find myself again, so I want to give something back. We'll need a bigger place. It might take some time, but I want to create a cat shelter better than any other. We crouch down, not frightening the cat as we close in. What should we call it? How about Cateau? Aww! Oh. Man, I want to cry. I like this. This is a beautiful game. Oh my god. You're really pulling my heartstrings. This makes me sad. I really like this. I mean, not sad in a bad way. It just, makes me want to cry. And now oh! I am so sorry! I didn't mean to stab you with my finger. You okay? Jam my finger into your ear. I'm sorry! I love you! Oh! Yes. Alright, that was Cateau. Beautiful game. Lovely artwork. And it had cats.
I couldn't have asked for anything better. I really, really very much enjoyed this. And I have to say, this is a beautiful game. Anyways, thank you all for joining me on this lovely journey. And now that it's after 3 a.m., I am going to go ahead and close up this chapter of playing a game, and I'm gonna get some sleep. Yeah. Oh my gosh, am I tired? But thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs down. You do you. And remember, links are in the description below for all the social interactions. Discord, Twitter, Instagram, and more, I think. I don't, yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at my description. I'm really tired and can't fully function in the brain. So, I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Time for some sleep. Take care. Bye bye.